Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
What? Okay, well, has this always been a thing? Where have I been?
What's going on, everyone? Kyle here from the Smacked Raw podcast, bringing you tonight's AEW Dynamite recap edition. Miro's done it, baby. Yes, Miro did it. Oh, man. What an episode of Dynamite. What an episode, man. Oh, God, dude. AEW just really knows how to knock it out the park sometimes. A lot of the time, simple storytelling is the best. We had some really cool stuff tonight to get to, folks. But before we do that, I want to thank you guys for joining me live here on twitch.tv/putting you over, where we normally recap Raw, NXT, Dynamite, and SmackDown. If you ever miss a live stream, you can find us on youtube.com/the Smacked Raw podcast. And of course, the audio version can be found just about anywhere you go. I say typically this is where you can find us live. However, I believe either tonight or Friday will be the last live stream on Putting You Over for a couple weeks. Smacked Raw podcast, myself, Katie, RN, Kevin. Big changes coming up tomorrow, our 2-year anniversary since the debut of our first episode of this podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing UWO for the first time, featuring all Smacked Raw cast members. It's going to be a blast. You got myself hosting like normal, and then, of course, RN, Katie, and Kevin. Following UWO, we'll have some special announcements regarding some changes that the show's going to go over. Spoiler alert, you guys. The nightly recap format is going out the window. We're grinding these videos out. And they're not putting up the numbers that we would like, especially for the amount of work that we're putting into them. So we're going to stretch our legs creatively a little bit. So we're going to tell you guys about the new show lineup, the new content that's going to be available for you guys in the near future. Unfortunately, not all news is good. Kevin is having his final show with us tomorrow, so please tune in, show the man some love. We've all agreed Kevin's going to go off and do his own thing. Man, the dude loves to stream video games. I hope he takes everything that he's done here and like the gaming stuff that he's doing. I hope he just like pours everything into that, because he's a ton of fun to watch. And if Katie or somebody is so kind to plug his Twitch channel in the chat, I'll make sure to let everyone know where you can follow him as well. But man, yeah, tomorrow's gonna be fun. I'm excited. It's gonna be really fun. Before we get there, though, we're gonna get through Dynamite. Couple other things that you can check out in the meantime: WrestlingNewsWorld.com. Check out the website, man. Subscribe to those guys. They're a lot of fun. They're hardworking. D-Rod needs to get on the ball, though. Needs to get on the ball. We've had a couple episodes not make it up, but that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, we're going under some reconstruction anyways, so it's no big deal. You should still give those guys a follow. But fuck, okay. Enough of that stuff. Let's talk Dynamite. Jesus. Was it me, or was this like one of the funnest episodes I've seen in a while? Man, it felt so good. Everything from the opening New Japan United States Championship match between Moxley and Yuji Nagata. We had awesome promos from Britt Baker. We had some nostalgia stuff with the Inner Circle. We had a great tag match between SCU and the Young Bucks. Man, a lot of good stuff here. A lot of fun. So, see if we can get down to it, man. Get down to, because they paced the show very fast. They got a lot of stuff in those 2 hours. So let's get right down to it. We kicked off the show once again with Moxley and Nagata. We had a side-by-side windows of them warming up. Definitely looked more sports-orientated. Moxley came out to Wild Thing, which was honestly very fitting, I found, for him. I saw it was homage to another New Japan wrestler from the past. I didn't catch the reference, but I thought Wild Thing actually suited Moxley pretty good. Looks like Katie tried to actually post Kevin's Twitch handle. I think the mods blocked it. You'll have to DM me, Katie. Just DM me and I'll put it out there. But they had a physical match. You can tell Nagata's up there in age, but he was still quite spry. He still was pretty badass in there. It was a pretty physical match. Did not overstay its welcome. Moxley ended up picking up the win with Paradigm Shift, or since it's a New Japan match, which they were officially going by the rules of New Japan matches for this, which was a very nice touch. And I mean, it makes sense. It's for one of their titles. It hits the Death Rider for pick up the victory. They both bow in the ring, show respect to each other. Good feels, really fun way to kick off the show. And then, I mean, in my opinion, Moxley wearing that, like having that belt, elevates his look so well. I want to see him, if he's not wrapped up in a feud, he should be toting around that title, man. It elevates him, and obviously it elevates New Japan. I mean, at least let him wear the belt that, he is a champion. Like, it should be on TV. Let's see. Following the match, we got an interview. We had Ortiz, Sammy, and Hager. They're unhappy of what went down at Blood and Guts. They said that Max is a punk for throwing Jericho off, especially after they surrendered. Hager says we may have lost, but we're still alive. Sammy Guevara challenges them to a rematch, or they can refer to tonight's coronation of the Pinnacle to the funeral of the Pinnacle. So he lays out the challenge. Then we got, probably, in my opinion, the low light of the evening. It was Cody. Cody Rhodes came out, and he started off really stumbling around this promo, something to the degree that it's passe to be proud to be an American. He said he's never not been proud. But anyways, he says not all Brits are bad. He references a Willie Nelson song, Living in the Promised Land. And he mentions that he brings up the fact that he's going to have a mixed child with Brandy Rhodes, and he's proud, and he wants to let them realize essentially the American dream. And it was just a very the punctuation, it honestly felt like he was doing his best John Cena impression. And it felt weak. It lost me in the beginning. I know it ruffled a couple feathers. I've seen that some people are kind of divided on how they feel about this promo. I didn't really read too much into it. To me, honestly, I was bored the first half, but once he ramped it up towards the finish, and he said he wants to take on a Go-Go at Double or Nothing, except at Double or Nothing, a Go-Go won't be facing the Nightmare. Instead, he'll be facing the American Dream. I thought that was a nice touch. It was a good way to punctuate, otherwise, in my opinion, a long-winded, stammering promo. But see, this lays into the issue that I've said is, and I don't think I don't think I'm alone in this anymore. I think this is common knowledge, at least I would think so, is that Cody Rhodes is just so self-indulgent in everything that he does. Even if it has nothing to do with a title, just everything is big, epic, over the top. Now, I believe a Go-Go has a lot of potential, but the fact that Cody's trying to elevate this feud beyond what it really is, not to mention for a company that is trying to separate itself from a lot of WWE tropes, the whole American versus the foreign heel stuff, I mean, dude, that's WWE 101, right? That's not, it's not like it's definitely not new by no means, dude. It reeks of like Hulk Hogan and Sergeant Slaughter all over again. Iron Sheik and shit, man. Yeah, I'm not here for it. I am, however, here for Iron Sheik's Twitter game. Yeah, his Twitter game strong as hell. I think Katie has DM'd me. Hold on one second. No, she is not. Okay. Anyways, yeah, but this is the issue. Like I said, self-indulgent Cody is too much. I'm not a booker. I'm not a professional. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know a better way to utilize the guy. But it's always such a kind of like a turnoff, man. It just, I don't know. The whole thing stinks for me. I'm rooting for a go-go in this one. Not going to lie. What did we have following this? SCU video promo. They did pretty good, hyping up their match, talking about essentially the same thing was driven home on Dynamite that was driven home on Being the Elite. And that's just the story that SCU and the Young Bucks traveled the road together for many, many years. Now the Bucks only care about the titles. SCU doesn't want to break up. Classic tropes. No one's really here for the promos between these guys. Everyone's here for the match. And I think, in my opinion, it definitely delivered. During the match, Daniels gets busted wide open. This dude's bleeding everywhere. Yeah, he's bleeding like a stuck pig, man. And it leaves Kaz in the ring to hold it down on his own, 2 against 1. Kaz got a lot of good offense in here. Hold on, let me see what I wrote down. My other set of notes here aren't quite as detailed, but he went on a hell of a run here in this match. It says, excuse me, I should have been a little bit more ready. But yeah, he says, at one point, Doc Gallows distracts the referee while Kazarian got a roll-up pin. So we got the visual win. After that, he performs a Styles Clash to one of the Bucks while eyeing down Doc Gallows. I thought that was a fantastic spot. He ends up getting tombstoned by the Bucks. However, Daniels finally recovers from being busted open to break up the pin. There's this nice shot of Christopher Daniels bleeding all over Matt Jackson's sneakers. Matt, being the ever troll that he is, does the whole "I love you, I'm sorry," or "No, I'm sorry, I love you," crocodile tears, mocking the HBK and Ric Flair spot, which I thought was honestly, it was pretty funny. Okay, and then afterwards, there was a botch. Christopher Daniels goes for the best moonsault, and he missed the top rope. There's a little bit of like a hesitation there, but he does get back up there. He lands it. However, while the ref is distracted, they hit him with the cold spray. That was new to me. He manages to kick out from the weapon spot. He gets smashed with the can. However, they're able to hit the BTE trigger and defeat the SCU in what was probably my favorite match of the night. Super bloody though. AEW does love does love to bleed, man. They love them some blood over there. Let me see. Katie finally sent me the link. Kevin Crazy's Twitch is Kevin_crazy with a K 316. So I mean it's pretty close to his Twitter handle. Yeah, make sure you follow him on Twitch. Go follow him. After the match, which was kind of weird. We're supposed to get this heartwarming, sentimental moment between SCU. They're breaking up. This has been months and months of storytelling. These guys said the very next loss they had, they would break up. And here is that moment. And instead, we get like this hesitation from production. We hear stuff is going on backstage, but you can hear the guys, the commentators talking about, well, we don't want to cut away from the ring. Eventually we do. It's just Eddie Kingston and Moxley like destroying the dressing room of the Elite, I guess, pissed off about what just went down. Kingston did drop a funny line though, because he points Moxley to the bathroom and tells him to go blow it up. And he wants to tell him take a shit in the Elite's dressing room. It was pretty good. We cut to commercial. We come back, and honestly, what I found pretty disrespectful was you finally get the emotional moment of SCU breaking up, and it's just reduced down to like not even 10 seconds of airtime of them just sharing, embracing in the ring and a hug. And that's it. You don't get no long crowd. You don't get the crowd cheering for them or nothing. It was just, oh, look, these guys hugged during commercial break. And someone dropped the ball there. Like, absolutely dropped the ball with that. It was disrespectful. For the praise that you deserve for such long-term storytelling, to just drop the ball on the payoff was pretty absurd. It was pretty absurd. But nonetheless, we move on. Christian's backstage. He's interviewed. He calls out Taz. Not Taz so much. He says he acknowledges that whoever wins the Casino Battle Royal will be get a title shot whenever they want. So he drops his name in the hat. Afterwards, though, Matt Sydal comes out, of all people, says that he's also going to be in it. They have a little bit of a stare off, and guess we're getting a match between them next week on Dynamite. Yeah, let me see. Yeah, says he's gonna win it. He's gonna beat Christian. Yeah. So following this, this is where it gets scary, man. Orange Cassidy and Pac. I'm reading some reports already. Breaking news. This match did not go as planned, and I think anybody who watched it could tell something was off. These guys start off, and they start off pretty good. However, Pac power bombs Orange Cassidy, and he comes down at such a high angle, like on his shoulders and neck, and it looks disgusting. I caught it before anything even happened afterwards. I was like, man, that didn't look good. He didn't land flat at all. And Orange Cassidy doesn't move for quite a bit of time. The referee picks up on it. We're seeing this drama. We're about 10, 13 minutes into the match. And the referee is checking on him. He rolls out the ring. We cut to picture-in-picture. Nothing's really going on. He's back in the ring. He's being tended to by like refs and doctors and shit. They're checking on him. At which point Don Callis comes out, starts telling Pac, like, hurry up. We want to figure out who we're facing. And Kenny Omega blasts Pac with his title from behind. Knocks Pac down. Referee doesn't see it. After everyone exits the ring, she does a 10 count. No one gets up. It's a double count out. No one got to their feet. And then afterwards, while they're kind of like celebrating, saying they're going to leave early, now he gets the night off at Double or Nothing, Tony Schiavone comes out, says, well, since there was no winner, we're going to do a triple threat match instead in its place at Double or Nothing. Omega blows up, and they end up exiting the ring. What's different about this is apparently, due to some early reports, now granted, take this with a grain of salt. I'm looking at like a notepad here, like someone just notepad. But let me find that again. Yeah, it's already trending on Twitter. Orange Cassidy injury. Let's see. Not seeing anything here. So if I can't find the exact thing, or at least I remember bits of it, is they're claiming in this post I saw that the original plan was for it to go to a 20-minute draw. And then that's what would lead you into the triple threat match. But everything else, an audible was called on the fly. I guess they're erring on the side of caution to keep him in the match. But yeah, so apparently that is not what was supposed to go down. I mean, if you look, you can tell like that power bomb was just at such a high angle. It was really bad. It looked bad as hell, man. Let me see. I'm gonna look for just a little bit more. Yeah, no, I don't think I'm gonna find it. Or at least I'm going to spend too long looking for it. I am, however, getting a ton of awesome pictures of Miro wearing that TNT championship. Fantastic. All right. Well, moving on. Backstage, the Bucks are they're pissed off about their dressing room. Essentially, they say next week they're going to take on the Varsity Blondes, and then at Double or Nothing they want to take on Kingston and Moxley. That's sure to be a good match. Hangman backstage, he challenges Brian Cage at Double or Nothing. He says, "Do the job on your own. Leave everybody behind. Come out and earn that win." Then we get to Pinnacle's coronation. This was fun, man. They all come out with a bunch of pretty girls. MJF wearing a crown. God damn it, dude. MJF's $1 million. The man really is. He's fantastic. Says he took Chris Jericho's spot. He's now the demo god. He's now the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Imagine that at 24 or however young that kid is. It makes me sick. How young he is. But anyways, after he hypes up this rematch that the Inner Circle has called him out on, and he gets the crowd involved, he turns it down, hands over the mic to Tully. Tully goes on about some stuff about how the Pinnacle's at the top. They're looking down at everybody else, and then he gifts Pinnacle a bunch of, I'm assuming, Rolexes, just a bunch of fancy watches, as congratulations for winning at Blood and Guts. However, afterwards, in a callback to Stone Cold and Kurt Angle, out comes Inner Circle's, I believe it is Ortiz and Hager with Sammy on top of this cart, and it's like it's got a trailer behind it. It's got a big poster of a little bit of the bubbly. Sammy's mounting what looks to be like a fire hose on top, like a turret almost. He asks them again, we want a match at Double or Nothing. And then after MJF continues to deny, out comes Chris Jericho. Chris pops back up. He's had his arm in like this bionic sling, and then essentially they just shower him. They just shower him with a bunch of champagne, to the point where it pisses everybody off. They're doing the comical. I mean, they're pretty much doing everything from the previous spots that Stone Cold and Kurt Angle did, with the exception of like Vince McMahon trying to swim in the ring. Everybody's sliding. Jess got excited because fucking apparently Cash was wearing white pants and they became completely see-through, which was a pretty funny touch. But yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. MJF declares, though, they will have the second Stadium Stampede. Oh my goodness. We're going to have a Stadium Stampede at Double or Nothing at full capacity. I have so many questions. Well, for one, MJF claims that if they win, Inner Circle has to break up. What I want to know is, I hope it's not pre-taped. Are they going to try and do this in front of a live crowd? Are they going to do this live? Are they going to pre-tape it in front of people? You can't pre-tape it like empty again. You can't do that. This is the Stadium Stampede. This is Double or Nothing. This is the return of like full capacity crowds to AEW. Oh man, I've got so many questions. Are they going to do the Civil War charge at each other again? Is somebody going to try and chase down Sammy Guevara in a golf cart or horse? Does Sammy turn it around and he does something like that? Oh man, I have no idea. But I mean, I hope it's not taken too seriously. Last year it worked so well. For me, it was the comedy. It was the blend. I mean, the match itself was a lot of fun, but the comedy is what did it for me at last year's, because it's such a silly concept. It is such a silly concept. I hope they don't take it too seriously. I think you had the serious tone at Blood and Guts. That was a very serious, brooding tone. We just go to the other end of the spectrum now. Lighthearted, make it a lot of fun. Personally, I can't wait. That is my most anticipated match now for Double or Nothing, is the second Stadium Stampede, just because of how much I loved the first one. Following this, we had a pre-taped interview. JR interviewing Britt Baker. He brings up that Sheeta match with all the blood Sheeta essentially created a monster when she broke her nose. And Britt Baker has just essentially stepped up her game, man. Stepped up her game too big. And that she's going to have to kill me, she goes on to saying. But I'm hard to fucking kill, she says. Wow, man. Yeah, JR brings up the tussle. Apparently, if you were on Twitter, there was like a big photo shoot before Dynamite tonight. They had a little bit of a brawl. Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun. She has been champ for a year. She's kept the division alive through the pandemic and all that stuff. But I think it's time. I think it's time for to pass that torch to Britt Baker. What do you guys think? You think it's time? I love Sheeta, man. I love Sheeta, but dude, Britt Baker is money. She is absolute money. When she gets on the mic, she is fantastic. It's crazy how good she is. And then in the ring, she's awesome too. I mean, look at this. Look at this. The lights out match with her and Thunder Rosa. Nobody's really talking about Thunder Rosa in that match. They bring that match up. It's all Britt Baker. Yeah, man. Kay says Britsburg. Yeah. Oh, she said, I'm not sure how they're gonna do the Stadium Stampede. Yeah, man. I have no idea. Afterwards, Thunder Rosa, I think, was just thrown on the show. It was a late announcement she was having a match, and you could kind of feel it. She had like extremely fast match against Jasmine Allure. Picked up a quick win. She ran around telling the cameras that it's her time the whole time. Jade Cargill, she's trying to figure out still who's going to be her manager. She's asked who's going to handle her business. She's like, I handle my own business. I'm my own boss. I'm that bitch. I got to say, the whole I'm that bitch thing, I don't know how well that's working. Man. I don't know, man. I need to see more from Jade. Need to see more. I get what they're doing. They're buying their time. I bet she's working her ass off week in and week out trying to live up to the level of hype that they're placing around her. You know, that's why we get these quick little squash matches and promos and stuff. Oh, Justin from the Get Show podcast. Hey, bud. How you doing, man? Glad to see you here. But, yeah, I wonder how other people are taking Jade right now. So, and then we got the main event. The main event, man. Darby Allin. We get a little pre-tape footage, black and white, him visiting an old, like, skate warehouse. Calls Miro while he's in there. Generic son of a bitch. Says he knows how badass, like, that Darby is. I'm not gonna lie, when Darby started talking up, like, how Miro hasn't faced competition like him, all I'm thinking about is Miro's feud with John Cena. And, like, I love you, Darby, but this man rolled out in a tank to face John Cena at WrestleMania. I feel like he's been in bigger matches than you. You know, no offense to Darby. A lot of fun to watch. But, I mean, dude, don't sleep on Miro. Is easily, any day is a world champion. That dude could wake up, win a world championship. And it's a shame he hasn't yet. In either WWE or AEW. Well, these guys have a match. Before Darby can even get into the match, mind you, he's still injured from last week, getting tossed down the stairs by All Ego Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. He's beat up. Miro just ragdolls the piss out of him for like 5 minutes, in and out the ring. He's telling the ref to start the match, but then he's like throwing Darby out the ring. I mean, Miro was just on a warpath. I guess it didn't even matter. Like, Miro, it was in the contract that if Darby couldn't have the match, then the title would be transferred over. What do you say? He says, right, chilling. Listen to the smooth voice. Kyle sounding like Barry Manilow. But yeah, man, it was. You should have just squashed him, dude. It could have been like when Brock squashed Cena at SummerSlam. Easily could have been that. Could have done that, you know. But I get what they were doing. They want to protect Darby. Darby's homegrown to him. I mean, not really, but I mean, he's just not a WWE guy. But so after just a prolonged beatdown, they finally get the match started. Miro gets a ton of offense in. The spills outside. Darby's hitting shotgun drop kicks, barely touching Miro. I mean, he looks like a Terminator throughout the majority of the match until about 50 to 75% the way through. Miro's untouchable. At one point, during a picture-in-picture, Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page attack Sting. Darby tries some stuff. I think he does like one of those flip-over stunners, and he tries to do like a coffin drop to the outside. Miro catches him, just German suplex the shit out of him. And then we get back from commercial. Darby at this point has kind of turned the tides here, which just wasn't a fan of. Like, I mean, I honestly would have been happy with Miro just buzzsawing through Darby. You had a built-in excuse with him getting tossed down the stairs last week. You know, Darby didn't have to like go out too valiantly, but once again, it's pro wrestling, man. It's pro wrestling. Darby's trying to choke out Miro on the outside quite a while. Miro tries to grab the title. The ref gets his hands on the title, so Miro just charges Darby into a wall that looked vicious. Darby, I will say one thing. He's essentially the Sasha Banks of selling in AEW. Just his selling is on another level, and I don't know if he's just so reckless that this dude is cutting his career short. I mean, from being in a body bag full of tacks, powerbombed over the ropes by Brian Cage, to this. For one, Darby Allin has the best suicide dive in the game. The guy comes at you at like 20 miles an hour and hits you with all of his body weight, and he just like pinballs off of you. It's a fucking sight to see, man. It really is. However, though, they get back in the ring. The end is nigh for good old Darby Allin. He ends up on the bottom rope. He looks out to Sting. It's like, and Sting gives him this last fist bump. Like, go out, give him hell. And so Darby just goes 100. Have you ever seen that movie Logan? Remember when Logan, at the end of that movie, just jacked himself up with those drugs, whatever? That was pretty much like crack and adrenaline combined. And he just went like full feral, went full rage. It's kind of what Darby did right there. That fist bump is something special from Sting. I got to tell you. He starts hitting like all these float over stunners. He hits Code Red. He's doing roll ups. I mean, the dude is doing everything he absolutely can to pin Miro. He even hits a coffin drop. Miro catches him, but Darby still gets out, is hitting him with everything he can. And I swear the referee just like told him like, hey, you're out of time. Because in the middle of just these wild scrambles, Miro just grabs Darby and ends it. Just like that. Like it was fucking nothing, man. Put him in the accolade or the game over. Falls all the way back. Nice touch. Darby, they just call it. They call it right then and there. The ref didn't even wait for Darby to pass out. I'm pretty sure they knew they were running out of time. And so they just pushed through. But either way, Miro, new TNT champion. Fucking fantastic, man. Long time coming. Gotta tell you, man, it's long time coming for that one. Afterwards, though, more attacks Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky on Sting. And then lastly, Lance Archer comes out to confront Miro while being comically held back by Jake the Snake. And then Dynamite goes off the air. And I got to say, man, fucking fantastic. Fantastic episode. Yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoyed it. Hope y'all enjoyed Dynamite. AEW's doing some cool stuff. Honestly, the stuff I saw coming up next week, it's all right. It's going to have a hard time following this week, but I am 100% sold on Double or Nothing. Like, absolutely to a T. I cannot wait for Double or Nothing. Which is crazy because we're going on hiatus. So technically we're not like lined up to recap the show, but I know at least I will. I'll be talking about it, whether it's on here or with somebody else. I got to. But yeah, man. I want to thank y'all for joining me. That's the show. Once again, tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, Smacked Raw podcast on Twitch. We're hosting our 2-year anniversary UWO with all cast members. Kev's going to say his goodbyes. We're going to be sad. We're going to cry. Sarah McLachlan might start singing in the background. You never know. You never know. Probably not because of copyright bullshit, but still. And then we got some fun announcements to make. I can't wait, man. We're all really excited over here at the show to tell you guys what we got going on in the pipeline. Definitely going to be having some fun. Long needed for some fun. But yeah, man. Yeah, please y'all tune in. Be so grateful. Another thing, if you want, man, it would be super cool, is over here, Patreon. That's not Patreon. That's YouTube. You can subscribe to YouTube. YouTube.com/SmackDrawPodcast. Over here, Patreon. Patreon.com/SmackDrawPodcast. Still got a whole bunch of stuff in inventory. I'm still waiting to send it out for people that sign up. Head on over there. Support the show. You still have time, man. If I see you guys sign up tonight, we'll go ahead, take your video unpopular opinion, and we'll throw it on the show, man. It'll make the show extra special. Get you in on that, man. But yeah, that's it. So hope to see you guys tomorrow night or later today, depending whenever you're watching this. And until next time, y'all have a good one. Bye.